Hello, welcome to the first video in a series walking through the theology of the Westminster Confession of Faith. And the Westminster Confession is a part of the doctrinal standards here at Christ Church Bellingham, which means that if someone's going to be a pastor, an elder, or a deacon in our church, they have to subscribe to the system of doctrine that is taught in this document, Westminster. And for the last 10 years at Christ Church, I've wanted an opportunity to teach through the theology of Westminster. I love this document, and we haven't had quite the right setting at the church. And so here we are all at home, and I thought, what an opportunity through these videos to just walk through for you as a congregation what we believe as a church. And so in this introductory video, I just want to answer a couple questions. First, what is the Westminster Confession? And second, how I'm hoping that you would use these videos at home. So first, just a brief answer to the question, what is the Westminster Confession of Faith? Well, in the 1640s, during the English Civil War, Parliament appointed 121 pastors and theologians, brilliant minds from England, to come together and do assembly and write a document that would summarize and unify the theology of the Church of England. And so they came together. They actually wrote three documents: the Westminster Confession of Faith, the larger catechism, and the shorter catechism, all three of which are part of our doctrinal standards at Christ Church. And as it turns out, the Church of England never adopted these documents for their doctrinal standards, but there were some pastors from Scotland who came and helped the assembly write these documents, and the Church of Scotland did adopt it. And of course, the Presbyterian Church, which is what we are, has its roots in the Church of Scotland. And so we have adopted these documents as a summary of a faithful way of reading the scriptures. How do you interpret the Bible the right way? Well, this is one of the ways that we answer that question. We know that you're interpreting the Bible the right way through interpreting it in accord with this confession. Now, some of you say, well, why do we need another document that we subscribe to besides the Bible? Isn't the Bible our ultimate authority? Well, one thing to understand is that the confession is not giving a pinpoint of this is exactly what you have to believe. Instead, the confession is more like a circle. And it's like a boundary. And it says, if you're interpreting the Bible right, you should be somewhere within this boundary. So there's going to be a diversity of views within that boundary. Actually, the assembly that wrote this document had a diversity of views. It was a consensus document. So there were Presbyterians and Episcopalians, and there were independents that were present there. They were all kind of helping to shape this document. But the reason that we use it is because the Bible is not supposed to be interpreted by any individual. The Bible is meant to be interpreted by the body of Christ, the community of the church throughout the ages. And so how do we read the Bible, not just as Nate Walker as the pastor, or not just Christ Church Bellingham in 2020, but with the Christians throughout the ages, because we're going to have all kinds of blind spots in our day? Well, we do that by subscribing to this confession. And I think this is important because, modern people are very suspicious of church tradition. And so, we lose a lot of the reflection that Christians have had throughout history. And then also, fundamentalists, modern fundamentalists are very, I believe it's just me and my Bible. It's a very individualistic reading of the Bible. So we're trying to avoid both those errors, and the confession is how we do it. And so we want to hold on to those reflections from Christians from ages past. And so the confession is how we do it. And so how am I hoping that these videos, walking through the confession, will be used by you at home? Well, the idea is that these would be short videos. My goal is to keep them to about 5 minutes. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read through a paragraph of the confession. Sometimes it might be one paragraph, sometimes it might be 3 paragraphs, sometimes it might just be a part of the paragraph. All the phrases in the confession are very dense, they're pregnant with meaning. And so as I read along, I'll just make some comments to help explain it. And then at the end of each video, I'll have a summary of what we've learned and then a discussion question. And so if you're a Christ Church member, you have roommates, maybe you could talk about it with your roommates. Or if you're a family, you could take this video and watch it at dinner time, 5-minute video with a discussion question, and you could learn together about this theology. And my hope is that it would stimulate theological learning for our congregation during this time where we're all staying at home. And I hope also that as questions arise, you'd email them to me, nate.walker@christchurchbellingham.org. I'd love to hear your questions and answer them as I'm able. So as these videos come out, I hope that you enjoy them and they are a blessing to your mind and to your soul. God bless you.